Hi there, J3 here and welcome back. So far in this module, we've talked about being truly abundant, how to give of your time and money so that you can keep on giving abundantly. And so far, you've learned about two skills. The first is to give with self-respect, wherein you make sure that you're taking care of yourself first so that you can keep on giving. And the second skill is to give with open hands, being ready to receive the blessings and fulfillment that comes with giving. Now, in this video, we're going to the third skill in giving, and that is to give in multiple languages.
The past two skills we discussed have been in giving in terms of money, but I'm sure that you already know that money is just one way of expressing abundance. That's why our third skill is about giving through other means, the skill of giving in multiple languages. There are 5 ways of expressing abundance. The first one is through money. We've already talked about how to give in this language. The other 3 ways, well, I know you already know this, so as we discuss them, let these just be a reminder to you so you can express your abundance. Then the last one we'll discuss is probably one that you haven't heard of before, since it's a highly obscure and unknown topic. For this one, I suggest that you just be open and explore it. So, on to the 3 more languages of abundance. First, your words. Our words are extremely powerful and have lasting impacts to the people who hear them. With that, let me ask you, how do you treat the people you meet every day? How do you talk to your children, to your spouse, to your boss, to your subordinates, to your friends? Are you encouraging and supportive, or are you rash and insensitive? Your voice is a powerful tool in expressing abundance. When you say, "I'm sorry" to someone you've hurt in the past, you're saying that the person you've wronged is important to you and deserves to hear your apology. That is abundance. When you go out of your way to say thank you to a waiter that served you, you're affirming that his good work mattered. That in a couple of hours that you were in the restaurant, he was able to provide you with good service. That is abundance. When you encourage someone who has just been humiliated, no need for an explanation here, but we know that is abundance. Your words are very, very powerful. The next language is your actions. Actions speak louder than words, so whatever it is you do for others reveals how abundant you really are. At home, this would be in contributing to simple household chores. In social groups, these are the favors that you do for your friends, and as small as they are, they matter. But this is all cliche, and most probably you already know and practice this. The bigger thing that I'd like to remind you with here is the biggest action you're doing right now to express your abundance. And that action is called your job. It is vital that you look at your job not only as a means of earning money, but it is also a way wherein you express your unique contribution to the world. So no matter what you do, no matter what industry you're in, what level you are in the organization, think highly of your job and do your best at it. Just imagine, what if Manny Pacquiao had decided to be a teacher because it was a so-called more noble profession instead of being a boxer? And what if he said that he was already tired of punching and knocking people out? My goodness, it would be a huge disservice to the world and to our country. Our government wouldn't be able to get a cut of his million-dollar earnings. Our country wouldn't experience days wherein the crime rate was 0. In the same way, if you are highly skilled in analyzing enormous amounts of data with the pivot tables and all, or if you're engrossed when you have to think of marketing campaigns and you don't express or make use of those skills, you are also doing the world a huge disservice. So again, just as a reminder, think highly of your job. Be proud of it. Be excellent at it, because it is also a way that you contribute to the world and express abundance. Next language is your undivided attention. Just by being there in the moment, you already express your abundance. When you give someone your full undivided attention, it's an acknowledgement that they are important to you. Have you ever had a conversation wherein you felt that the other person was simply not there with you? that in his mind, he was wandering somewhere else as you two were talking. And wasn't that kind of insulting? Giving full attention to someone is a sign of respect and a sign that you actually care. So, my reminder here is just to recount how much time have you really given to the people around you. At home, where all abundance should start, how connected are you with each other? I don't mean through cell phones or the internet, but how well do you know what's going on in each other's lives? Do you still eat meals together? If you do eat together, is it spent by knowing what happened during the day? Or is it just together watching the TV? In business and work, how much attention have you really given your customers? How well do you know their needs? Not only their needs, but also their wants, desires, fears, and disappointments. Have you spent enough time listening firsthand to your customer? And the most important person that you should give your attention to is yourself. How much have you listened to yourself lately? With how you're feeling, how things are going with you? Are you still inspired? What are you doing to inspire yourself again? Are you nearing burnout? Are you able to get enough rest? Are you listening to your body's needs? Random sharing here. One of the things that I'm really not a fan of is relying on coffee for energy. Because when you feel tired and out of energy, that's your body telling you to get some rest. And the best solution to fatigue is rest. It's not caffeine. Imagine if your body could actually talk to you. It would be saying over and over again, hey, I'm tired. I need to rest. Otherwise, I'll break down. Hey, I'm tired. I need to rest. But when you decide to drink coffee, you decide to shut that voice out with a whip of caffeine. Don't complain, get moving. So what's the effect? Because your cells don't get to recover, you get sick. Your body ages more. Toxins keep on building up. Soon you'll be a part of the statistic who gets cancer during old age. Remember the first skill of abundance. Give with self-respect. If you respect yourself, you'll also give yourself more attention. So to just quickly recap, we have discussed 4 languages of abundance now. Money, words, actions, and attention. Now we move on to the more controversial language of abundance, and that is your sex energy. What? Yes, sex energy. One of the first books when it comes to wealth creation was Think and Grow Rich, written in 1937 by Napoleon Hill. This book is a product of 20 plus years of research on individuals who were able to achieve great wealth during their time. Among the people he studied were Henry Ford, the man who revolutionized the automobile industry; John Rockefeller, the man who revolutionized the petroleum industry and is credited for being the pioneer of modern philanthropy; Dr. Alexander Graham Bell, the inventor of the telephone. I just mentioned some of these names because the people Napoleon Hill was able to study were people who changed the world. So we're talking about massive success here. Now, in the book Think and Grow Rich, there is one chapter called The Mystery of Sex Transmutation. What is that chapter all about? Well, allow me to read a portion of the book to you. And I quote, "Sex transmutation is simple and easily explained. It means the switching of the mind from thoughts of physical expression to thoughts of some other nature. Sex desire is one of the most powerful of human drives. When driven by this desire, man develops keenness of imagination, courage, willpower, persistence, and creative ability, unknown to them at other times." So, what is Napoleon Hill saying? Number 1, sex desire is extremely powerful. Number 2, it can be expressed beyond physical means. Number 3, tapping into that energy leads to superior intelligence. Now, the next things I'm about to say will require some parental guidance. If this was on TV, will be rated SPG for now. It may also shock you given that we Filipinos come from a conservative background. So, please be prepared. Here it goes. Think of the last time when you were turned on. Horny. In Tagalog, yung panahon na ikaw ay nanlilibog. Again, excuse me for the highly informal words. But it's important to recall a particular situation. Now, during that aroused state, it was as if something in you was building up, as if something in you had to be released. That is your sex energy. Now, at the point where you actually release the sex energy through physical acts, you'll notice quickly that the energy disappears. And the unfortunate part is, along with that lost energy is our supernatural ability to think at higher levels. Society has taught us only two ways on how to deal with sex energy. First is to fight it as if it was a temptation. Second is to give into it and find a way of releasing it. But there is a third option. Do not fight it. Do not release it. Instead, transform the sex energy to drive you into accomplishing your goals. This is called sex transmutation. I understand that this topic is relatively unknown, especially that our culture here in the Philippines is highly westernized. But if you look to the examples of Eastern beliefs of Taoism and Tantra, they have placed a high value to sexual energy. In athletics and martial arts, there has been a long-standing belief that you shouldn't have sex several weeks prior to a competition. Now, I've done a little more research on the topic, and here's what I found out. Number one, there have been actually very few scientific studies when it comes to sex energy. And of the few that have been done, there are no conclusive studies to show that dissipating sex energy would lead to a physically lower level of performance. However, the reason why sex energy becomes very important before a fight is of a purely psychological reason. One of the most primal functions and desires we have as human beings is to have sex. Sex desire is a huge motivator. Therefore, if you continually dissipate your sex energy, your levels of motivation towards success would also weaken. Marty, LIQUORI, a track athlete and one of the very few who can run 1 mile under 4 minutes, said the following: "Sex makes you happy. Happy people don't run a 3-minute 40-second mile. When we become content and satisfied, we lose the hunger for success. And when we lose that hunger, we are no longer driven to express our abundance to the world." So, for this language, I'm not going to offer you with specific suggestions about sex and sex energy. My only goal here is to make you aware that it exists, that your sex energy has been an untapped source for abundance. I only introduced this concept to you so you can explore and experiment on it on your own. And that concludes the 5 languages of abundance and also the stage of abundance. So let's have a quick recap of everything that we've talked about so far. The goal of this stage is to give in a way that you would move forward in the game of wealth. That is by giving the right way. To do that, you need to develop 3 important skills. Skill number 1 is giving with self-respect. Skill number 2 is giving with open hands. And skill number 3 is giving in multiple languages. This stage also concludes the 7 stages in the game of wealth. In the next video, what we'll talk about is playing the game of wealth. This is now about the concrete action steps that you can take to move forward. You'll also learn about how to track your progress to see if you're winning or losing. With that, I'll see you in the next video, playing the game of wealth.